So here are the suggested topics. Should we talk about anything else so we can add it right away?
Well, as part of the hot style reloading, it's a little bit more than hot style reloading. It is a new bundler based on something new, so not like Vit or Snowpack or elsewhere. So I would like to expand a little bit on that.
Yeah, and I can also give you note access if you want to edit it later. So.
Well, right now I'm still doing the finishing touches on the code, so I hope it will be ready for the presentation.
Cool. Then, yeah, so how about you, Boslav? Do you have any topics you want us to add to the list?
Maybe no.
Just let us know if you come up with something later. So let's just start from the top and then go downwards. So first topic was the Discord server changes. So I tried to consistently visit the Discord, and I made a few changes with the channels. I don't remember all of the changes right now, but tried to add some emojis to every channel name. And then what else did we do? Yeah, so we also have a way to create roles. Just need to figure out what kind of roles we want, and then set up a role menu so people can pick their own roles. Let me write that down. Yeah. So just let me know. Boslav had some suggestions, and we can polish that up and then just make it available in one of the, maybe we're going to rename one of the channels, the one about rules, to have rules and roles. So when you see the message, you just see, here are the available roles, pick the one that you want, and then you click it, and then you get the role. So very straightforward.
Can I remove the hyphens after the icons before the channel names?
Yeah, you sure. Just go on the server settings. And,
yeah, I know how to do it, but I was just warning you.
Yeah, please do. Like, I'm just doing experiments just to see. This was based on Frode came to the server, and he didn't like get the, what's it called? He didn't understand that this was the Imba server. So the idea was to just do a couple of experiments to see something that's more welcoming to new users. So I think we should continue doing experiments on the Discord server to see what works, and probably some of the things are not going to work so well. So
yeah,
like dashes in the channel name.
Cool.
Yes. Is there anything else? Yeah, if you have any ideas about the Discord stuff, it would be awesome to try out some more things. Discord Nitro. Well, you upgraded Scrimba recently, didn't you, Sindre, or was that the Imba server?
I think it was Per. I can upgrade it if so. I have some Nitro. I'm not sure how that helps.
Yeah, but like, what value do we get from upgrading if we wanted? I think one thing that would be cool, just if we get verified, then we can have our own custom server banner. So I think that would be cool. Yeah, let's try that. Try to get verified. It would just be sending an application and then sending. Yeah, I think we could get verified, considering that the Imba server is very specific. If you had a general purpose, even the Scrimba channel could get verified. I mean the server, not the channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyways. So the swag status is, I think Eric posted a couple of things recently. We're going to probably do, use Teespring just to try it out and see how that works. Per had no issues with spending money on t-shirts. So we just need to get the design ready and then just send it out. Or we can do some tests or some samples, and then we can send them out if the samples look okay.
Yeah.
Have you talked to Eric about t-shirts?
No, I haven't talked to anyone. I'm basically just working my ass off on Scrim.
Nice.
So yeah. Yeah.
So does anyone have any thoughts around the images Eric posted?
I think it looks cool.
Sounds good. So the next topic is the documentation status, and probably nothing has changed there. So, but we still have it as an important topic.
Yeah, I hope to hopefully next week, or late this week. There are still quite a lot of things that are very high priority after the Scrimba relaunch. It is slowly starting to settle down, but it's going to be at least a couple of more days in crunch mode, I think. But yeah, it will be nice. I'm really looking forward to getting back into Imba and the documentation.
Nice. Do you have anything to add, Eulores?
I'm right now, sorry, I'm just focusing on this stuff, so I'm just listening with a half an ear, but well, as soon as I have something big to say, I will just chime in. For the moment, it's okay.
Sounds good.
Sorry.
No worries. I just want to make sure everyone gets a chance to, like, sometimes in meetings, you can really end up being quiet and then not getting a chance to say something.
Thanks, Alexander, for giving me a spot.
So the next topic was the project templates. I started looking at the Webpack one, and I fixed a couple of things since it wasn't working with Imba 2. And I didn't get through all of the project templates, but I've been thinking that we should try to be consistent with regards to where the template is supposed to be used. So if we end up, for example, creating a template that's for Angular people or Angular developer or someone who has an Angular legacy app, then it makes sense to follow conventions there. And I think it makes sense with the rollup, with the Snowpack, to follow the conventions where, yes, it's going to be some confusion with dist and public, and do you use start or dev?
Yeah, well, exactly. That was what I was mentioning on the last time as well. If anybody has a good idea about conventions, I myself, I read a little bit into Webpack. They have a quite nice documentation, so it tells what's the purpose of the different subdirectories, because I need to incorporate whatever standards are out there for my own bundler. I tried to do something, but let's talk later about that.
Yeah. But the point I'm trying to make is that I think we should. I think it's better for us to just accept the default in whichever space it is. So if it's for example, the rollup, if this is the convention, because if someone who's using rollup wants to use Imba, right? What I'm worried about, if we create a general purpose template, is that if we enforce that, then someone who is using, for example, I don't know, Webpack, and then we do something that's non-normal in a Webpack setting, they might get confused, or in the rollup case or the Snowpack.
A good point, indeed. Yes, of course. Yes, you have a valid point.
Yeah,
I agree.
Cool.
Me too.
So the next topic, do you want us to take a break since you're doing some last minute stuff, or are you ready for hot style reloading?
Just give me a break because I'm nearly there. Just give me 5 minutes or things like that. Just
no
continue
worries.
talking about. But I need some time to explain because it's quite nice what I have here. So just give me 2 minutes. Still.
Yeah,
Thanks.
you can get 5 if you want. So no worries.
Perfect. Excellent.
So the release schedules in this, what I'm thinking is just like, should we try considering that like the Imba 1, there's an Imba 1 package right now.
Yeah.
Can we just start deploying the alpha stuff on the main Imba package?
Yeah.
Like, what would be the potential downside? Is there anyone who's using Imba in production right now that would be really, like, the alpha version would totally mess up if they just run npm install Imba and then they get the alpha version?
I don't think that, like, it shouldn't upgrade to 2.0 releases anyways if you have locked it down on 1.0. I think the main downside is probably that we won't. Well, yeah, you're not talking about removing the alpha versioning, but just making it the default branch, so to speak, on
Yes, exactly.
NPM.
So whenever
I
someone
don't think there's any downside to that.
yeah, maybe we should consider it.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not a big issue, but I was just thinking about it when I was installing the alpha version recently. I was just thinking, wouldn't it be nice to just drop the @pre stuff when you're running the command?
Yeah, I agree.
Have you noticed any interesting bugs the last week while using Imba in Scrimba?
Not that I've actually noticed a few, like seemingly compiler bugs that I have noticed and are going to go back and fix. Other than that, I think it works pretty well. There are some patterns like using native, extending native elements, stuff like that, that I really would like to work much more smoothly. But yeah, it is working well. There are obviously tons of room for improvement, but I'm already like easily more satisfied with using this than Imba 1. So.
Yeah, it's definitely better.
Yeah.
So are you planning on, just one question, are you planning on writing a post for Free Code Camp or Medium or something like that?
Planning in what sense? Like
in the next few weeks, or have you thought anything about that?
Not at all. So I should do it at some point, but I just have an insane workload. So I'm not planning for getting even more stressed right now.
Yeah, I definitely see that, but it would be really, really cool if there was a blog post about Imba, the Scrimba rewrite, highlighting the performance overall.
Yeah.
I think that would be pretty cool.
I agree.
The stage is yours, Elores.
Excellent. I was looking forward to that. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, I'm just gonna stop sharing my screen. I think it should work now.
Okay. Let me see if that works. Share screen. Your entire screen, of course. Well, it doesn't let me. It wants to share the contents of it. Choose what you would like to do. Your entire screen, but the button is not enabled. Very strange. Can we try again? So let me see. I'm just zooming in. Share screen. Yes, it works. Sorry, guys.
Nice.
Here we are. Okay, so let's go to the command prompt. CLS. All right. So let me introduce you the application that I've been working on. So with a little bit of a help screen, this is a compiler and bundler for Imba code. It has 4 different commands, which are prot, def, solo, and the most interesting one is watch. It also has command line completion, which I have not yet tried, but it came out of the box, so I just included it in there as well. So what is different from this bundler, what differentiates this bundler from all the others, from the ones based on Rollup or Webpack or Vite or Snowpack? This one is exclusively based on ESBuild. ESBuild is a Go application. It's a bundler written in Go, which is fantastic. It's amazing. It has an amazing speed. It's impossible to compare it with the other bundlers. So it's nearly instantaneous. This application, I just named it Imba. I mean, ES like ESBuild, but this time focusing on Imba. Imba, the production and development works quite nice. So let's just try this out. So if here I type in a prot sample.imba, okay, that was it. I have some debug messages still in the application, so you can just ignore that. If we look at the output that is generated, sample.js, here we are. As you can see, this is minimized code.
Yep.
So there's one single JavaScript file of 32K that has the whole runtime of Imba already in there, which is also compressed, which is also minimized. So that is working nice. Let's just delete everything in here so that we go from scratch. Now we do the same with development.
Mm-hmm.
And the difference in this case is that I also have a source map. So there are two differences. The first one is the JavaScript is not compressed anymore. And the second one is I have a valid source map. This is very useful in the browser when you need to chase some bugs.
Yeah.
The third way of using this is with solo. I need to explain what that command does. It just compiles the Imba straight to JavaScript without including any additional files, without including the Imba runtime or anything else. This is really when you want to have a one-to-one mapping between Imba code and the transpiled JavaScript. If you're studying, if you need to understand a little bit the inner workings. So this is the generated sample.js. As you can see, it's very succinct.
Yeah.
And that is the straight compilation from Imba. So it's really to the manual one-to-one mapping. The last command that I'm gonna present, it's watch together with the help screen. So this is the help screen. You can specify the port and address of the server. That's the hot module reloading server. Then you can specify a number of files. They will be compiled, and when there are a couple of other options which you can study later on. So let's just go for the watching. Well, that's pretty nice. It tells me not found. Oh, glorious.
Yeah, that's. I
Okay.
know exactly how it is.
Okay, this is actually the HTML file that could not be found. Let me just copy it over. I accidentally deleted the HTML file while I was messing around. Sorry for that. I just need to copy it from some other subdirectories that are out there. Yes, here we have index.html. Here we are. Let me copy that to the dist subdirectory. There we are. And of course, the reference should go to sample.js, which is there. All right, so let's just try the same stuff again. Sorry, you said?
I think it's trying to reference like a relative path dist/sample, so it won't find it now either. I think it won't find the JavaScript.
All right, so you spotted something that just escaped my eyes. Yes, dist is sample. That is just not right. Thanks.
No problem.
Sample. All right, let's try it like this. And let's go back to the command line, close this down, and start again. Ah, wonderful.
Nice.
So now let's just go to my place here. So this is my editor. Whatever I change here, it works great. Let's just add the word great here, save, and it just reloads. This, of course, is what we saw already a couple of times. It just reloads everything. What I have added now, and this is now the real special thing, which for the time being, of course, is not working. So need to make a manual change here. So it's this line here. Let me just disable that and just force it to always send a refresh CSS. Here we go. Boom. Let me recompile all this. Okay, and that was it. And now we are ready. So let's close that website. Let's go back to this one. Well, let me just add these two lines because they're nicer. That was it. Again, recompile. And now we are ready for prime time. So again, let's start the watching. Here we are. So if we now go to our editor and we change from red 3 to red 6, well, red 6, let's do it like that. And we save.
Oh,
It does not reload. It does not reload the page.
Yeah,
It just changes the style.
that's amazing.
Okay.
I need to help you out with adding the unique class names to all elements, even if they don't have a style from before, so that you can. Because right now it won't work if you start adding styles, right?
Well, it does work because I did patch your stuff up.
Oh,
So
that's
well,
amazing.
I have to show you that. I have to show you that because I'm so happy with it. Really, I mean, I was like 2 weeks fully focusing on trying to get that one way. I mean, just to hack around it, and I think that I succeeded. So I wanted to show you what I did because I'm very happy about it. Let's look at this. Is this it? Yes, this is one part of it. I need to just give me a second. And where's my compiler plugin? This is the compiler. Okay. Yes. Okay. Let's start by the compiler. So this code here is the one that reaches out straight to the Imba compiler.
Yeah.
When I go to the Imba compiler, I add a parameter CSS separate. I check the Imba compiler, and when it sees this parameter, it will not add the inline styles.
Yeah.
Okay. If you look at this section here, I am just adding the inline styles manually for the root element. That is the code that resets the CSS at the beginning to some commonsensical defaults. And for the rest of it, I am just adding here with style wrapper, I'm adding my own styles to it. So style wrapper just creates an element exactly the same as inline style does it, but it also adds the identifying ID just to keep one style separate from the next.
Yeah.
Okay, so a specific class name, it makes it easier to find the styles, and then ID to separate one from the other.
Cool.
If we now look at the injected JavaScript code into the client side, well, let me paint this in JavaScript colors. Where are you? Here we are. All right. So here in the refresh CSS, what I am doing is I'm looking for all those elements that have this class name, virtual CSS. And for all those elements, I recreate them, but this time using a link with pointing back to the server. So the server is actually serving these new styles.
Yeah.
Once this has been loaded on the client side, so once the client browser has finished loading this style from the server side, it triggers an onload. The onload is the one that is being used to remove the old style. So that way you will not have these flashes of ugly, whatever the C stands for.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Okay. Well, that's it basically. And of course, on the server side, the server is a Koa server. It just creates these new CSS styles out of the cache. So I feed the cache from the plugin and I unload the cache once I am in the server. And well, that works very, very nice. I just have some minor bugs somewhere. It should automatically distinguish. Let's look back here at this code. It should distinguish when it's only the styles that have been modified or when there's actually also the Imba code that has been modified. So when you modify the Imba code, it should trigger a full reload of the page. And when only the styles have been modified, it should just repaint the styles.
Yeah.
Okay, so, well, that's the code as it stands today. Of course, everything is repainted here with some nice timings. As you can see here, the full compilation takes less than a second. So in this case, it was 340 milliseconds. Usually it's below 100 milliseconds, no matter how big the project is, because whatever has not been modified, it sits in the cache and does not get recompiled. And the bundling, even if you have 200 files, it's very, very speedy.
Yeah. So it's is it caching on disk, or are you caching, like, how are you caching the Imba?
I'm caching in memory. So whatever JavaScript code has been produced by the Imba compiler gets cached in memory, and afterwards I'm just reusing that. I thought, at least, well, for the time being, I have absolutely no big masses of Imba code at my disposal, so I don't really have an idea how much memory is being consumed by this caching. But yeah, just looking a little bit around, I would say that any normal computer should have no problems whatsoever. Here, I mean, you have 4 gigabytes of memory at least, if not more, and code, you will never have 4 gigabytes of code.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
that shouldn't be a problem at all.
So caching all this in memory seems to me sensible, especially since at any point in time, as soon as you press the escape button or Control-C, the cache is flushed. So it's no longer a problem. And of course, the cache is based on least recent used entry. So if the cache becomes full or you're running out of memory, it starts kicking out old code from the cache. Yeah. And that just leads to longer recompilation times. So there's
awesome work.
I'm very happy with it, really very, very happy about this. I'm very satisfied with it as well. The only remark is the ES build today still does not officially support the plugins. Yeah. So if you want to test this out, you have to recompile ES build from scratch. And do a couple tricks to get this to work. So I'm just waiting for this guy, the guy who wrote ES build, to make it official so that we can push this out.
Is it possible in the meantime to essentially just like have a separate, the Imba compiler run as well and just compile the raw files to disk and have the ES build kind of read the raw files that are when they change, like the compiled files?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the ES build factory-wise is able to understand everything related to JavaScript. So JavaScript and TypeScript and JSON and stuff like that. So if the Imba files are already compiled to JavaScript, you just launch ES build as you would launch a rollup or parcel. It's exactly the same. The difference is that ES build will be faster, as far as I can judge, will be faster than any of the other bundlers out there.
This looks really cool, Elore. So to run this, did I understand you correctly that you actually have to build ES build yourself?
To run this today, you have to build ES build yourself. That is not complex. I did it already.
No, but do you have to do that? Like, couldn't we just fork the repository of ES build and then just set up something that automatically builds it? Because it's like
yes, we can do that, but that would not be respecting the wishes of the author of ESBuild, because he has a very clearly stated that he would like to have the freedom of changing the interface to the plugin code as much as he wants. When people start taking that code in a more or less official manner, there will be a rising pressure that stops him from changing the API to
so
plugin.
like out of curiosity then, like for people who don't want to manually build the ESBuild, then do you, like, I don't know this project, the ESBuild project, other than what's been mentioned. Do you think like it's something that's going to be working in a couple of weeks, or does it take longer? I don't know the process in that project.
I also don't know the process. I'm hoping before the end of the year to have that officialized, but that is just a wild guess on my side. Anyway, it's not a big deal. I will publish, I guess it's not more than 4 or 5 lines of code, the instructions in how to compile ESBuild from scratch.
Yeah, it sounds very painful. Considering that it's a Go project, at least, like setting up Go root and Go path, in my opinion, is a huge mess.
Well, I did not set up a Go root and Go path. I even installed Go on Windows, and I was surprised at how straightforward it was. So it was really a positive surprise, very much tempting me to start learning Go. But I said, like, if I now start learning Go, I will stop learning Imba. I cannot split myself in half. So I just left it like that. And of course, I had quite some childhood-related problems in understanding how this whole compilation of Go works and the modules and everything else. But yeah, I got there. There's no need to go through the same learning curve. I will just publish a couple of instructions, and that should be fine.
I think a Docker file would be amazing, like just automating that stuff. So, but like a written post also works. Copy pasting, that should work.
Yeah, well, actually, it's if I just look at the files that are hosted in Node modules, it's very few. ESBuild. Why don't I see it now? Okay, here we are. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 files. I can very much just zip this up and send it over. I mean, this of course is Windows, but I have exactly the same on Linux, but also on Macintosh. So let me see.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, like if I have to build ESBuild, I'm probably not going to try it out because it's too much hassle, in my opinion.
Hold on. You will get there, I promise. Just give me a second. Okay, here we are. Here I have all the builds for all the different platforms. As you can see, we have from FreeBSD, Linux, including Darwin as well.
Nice.
So this is the executable on Darwin. It's 5 mega. I just sent this over as an attachment somehow. And that's it. So you don't even have to compile anything from scratch. You just install these 8 files the way how I tell you to do, and that's it. And you're good to go.
Yeah, I think that would be amazing. Like having to set up Go in the home path and stuff like that. It's just painful.
No. You don't need that. This is just an executable which lives independently from Go. So you don't need to have Go installed in order to try this out. And that's the point here. So
Sounds very good.
I ran out of time. I had a proof of concept already ready 10 days ago with the style reloading that was working nice, but the code was a mess. So I spent these last 7 days in rewriting the code. I did not yet quite finish with that. I would still like to continue a little bit with that. As soon as I finish rewriting, I will write a couple of documentation and I will push it up into my repository. So that you guys can then start playing around with it. And yeah, I will use that also as a basis for a death match, a discussion to the very end with the Imba author, with Sindre, in order to formalize and custom stone the interface to the Imba compiler.
Yeah.
And maybe also
when we make this. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, and the other thing, of course, is to add the ID to the styles that you load in the Imba code. That would be extremely helpful for me. It's just one line of code that you have to add. It can be done instantaneously, but I have to tell you exactly what I need, and that's it basically. And yeah, by the way, do we have? I think I saw somewhere, but I have forgotten where. Sindre, you're starting to include some features like TypeScript, like formalizing. I mean, giving some clues about what kind of types to use in different functions or parameters. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's basically been around since the start of Imba 2, I guess. It's basically just a way to do type annotation that are compiled to JSDoc comments that are, again, readable and parsed by TypeScript, so you get nicer auto-completions and error messages. I'm basically only using it right now in the VS Code plugin and a few other small projects, so it's still a little buggy, but it works. So,
can this also be misused for describing some interfaces? I'm not using the proper TypeScript vocabulary because I'm not acquainted with TypeScript, but something that I enjoy a lot is to just document the interface to something, to a module or whatever. And having that feature using Imba language would be great. So just take as an example the Imba compiler. Whoever wants to interface with the Imba compiler, instead of having to study the source code of the Imba compiler, could just refer to this interface document and see exactly what kind of arguments are expected.
Yeah, so it wouldn't work that well for that right now because it doesn't support return. It only uses like implicit type inference for return values.
Yeah.
But it's something we could look into.
Well, just to keep it in the back of your mind, because, well, of course, this is just a matter of priorities, and this is low priority, of course. But still, while you're designing the language, just keep in mind that a little bit extra formality might help in the long run. When people start writing modules by different people and they have to interact somehow, it's nicer to have an official interface to base yourself upon.
I agree.
Okay, well,
nice.
I'll try to make the finishing touching to this bundler. And guys, really, I would love if you start using it. I believe it's fast. It's hellish fast.
Yeah.
When you start using it, you will be able to give me more feedback and discover bugs, and so we can make this a little bit more professional. And this would be part then of the tooling set for Imba.
Yeah, it looks awesome. I'll try it out for Imba.io, and I'll also PM you about trying it for. We're actually doing like bundling in the new Scriba site, and we're essentially rebundling a bunch of endpoints every time the server starts. So that would probably be a very cool fit for this plugin.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah. Awesome.
Awesome. Great work, Loris.
Great work.
Thank you.
So if there's nothing else, let's wrap up. And Sindre, the next meeting 2 weeks from today, does that work?
Yeah, I probably. I don't know, but probably. Should we do it at this time or should we do it 8 p.m.? That was saved in the meeting notes.
Next time. Let's see. So the challenge with 8 p.m. Oh, it says 8 p.m. It's supposed to say.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, weird. So 8 p.m. It's kind of hard for me, but I think if it's better for you, Loris, I think we should try 8 p.m. And then, let's try 8 p.m. Worst case, I won't be attending, but I will try to make Sindre the host of the meeting. Yeah. So I have to do my stairs workout. It's a religion, so sorry. just in case I can't make it with the time. But if I find someone who can drive me home, then it should be fine. But let's say 8 p.m. 2 weeks from now, and then I'll send the usual reminders.
That would also be interesting to maybe invite people that are not sharing our what is it called, the time slot. People from USA, time zone, exactly. I think people from USA, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. And then also just use Meetup because the reason why I think it's good to use Meetup is because then you can see the time zone you can see the time in your local time essentially. Because you can, when you log in, you have your account information and everything. So yeah, that should work. Cool. Thanks for taking the time.
Alexander, just one tiny thing. Before the next meeting, could you just do a bit more advertisement, maybe on the main site of Imba or in Discord, or just a little bit more, and invite all people to join, not just here the core people, but some additional people. So to tell them not to be shy, to just jump on and get involved, because I keep seeing quite a lot of names on Discord that obviously are interested in Imba, but they're not joining here in the talk. It would be nice to have them as well joining in.
Yeah, you're totally right. And I really appreciate the feedback. Thank you, Loris. We're going to definitely try out some new things. So hopefully next week or the week after, we can try to also use the Twitter account more effectively. And we also have the newsletter, which people keep signing up to. So we're going to do some stuff. So if you have any concrete ideas, just write them down on Discord, and I'll try to follow up, or Sindre will, or someone else will. Let's wrap it up. Thanks, guys. Have a great week. Bye.
Okay, thank you very much. You too. Bye.